All right, good morning, everyone. So the number are quite impressive. Now we have actually, 41 participants that are in today. So are we ready?
Muji, in 5 minutes.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Okay, we are live now in YouTube, so we can start, Miss Anna. Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines Incorporated, together in cooperation with Jose Abad Santos Rotary Club Manila, present NCPEP International Fit Fun webinar series. Before we start our session for today, let me remind you about our guidelines in attending this webinar. So we're asking everyone, particularly the participants, that you have to mute your microphone all throughout the discussion or during the presentation. So public participants, those who are in the in our YouTube channel, so there will be a public comment periods per schedule, or if we don't have time, you can get the answer in via email. So we will entertain questions right after the presentation of our resource speakers. Okay, and we are requesting all the participants to do not close your session or log out during the webinar. You may leave anytime in between, but your re-log in may not be connected as it may interrupt the system. You can log out after our event finishes. You may not ask personal questions or non-subject related questions, of course, during the event. Please turn off also your webcam during the presentation to save our bandwidth. And also during the presentation, um, not when not in everyone is in the webcam, you may need to rely on cues such as hand signal or hand raising icons or questions posted in our chats. Please ask questions concisely, avoid wasting time and lengthy introductions. So direct to the point all your questions, and make sure that before you're commenting or before asking questions, make sure that questions will be benefited by all the participants. Do not use our chat room, okay? And by gossiping with someone else and while the presenter are presenting their lectures. And do not forget, reminder again. So reminder, so please make sure that you will take your photos or selfie before and towards the end of our session and post it in our NCPEP page or group, and use our hashtags, hashtag mental health, hashtag FitFun webinar series, and hashtag NCPEP International. We will post again the attendance in our Zoom participants in our Zoom chat room, and your attendance will be until 12 noon only. And for inquiries and updates of all our upcoming events, so please check in our FB account and our FB page and our FB group. You can also share, like, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Okay, so um, please allow me to introduce our resource speaker for today. So our topic for our session for this session will be mental health and well-being in the workplace. So this will be rendered to I by Mr. Renz Aliado and Mrs. Shahahan Salman, educational consultant speaker. Both of them are from International E-Learning. This is an independent organization that focuses on current e-learning themes, trends, and topics in education. It was founded by Mr. Renz Aliado, a curriculum consultant teacher working in the field of education internationally. International e-learning helps you to learn a proven method that predictably helps you to know more about the field of education. Without much further ado, let us all welcome Mr. Renz Aliado and Mrs. Shahan Salman for the mental health and well-being in the workplace. Good morning, sir and ma'am.
Good morning. All right, that's quite impressive. Thank you for welcoming us. First of all, I would like to congratulate NCPEP for giving us the chance to conduct a webinar series in your organization. It's quite impressive because you are very organized. Just for you to know, it's actually 6 a.m. here in UAE, and we are actually very excited to join you now. And I know you're also excited. And aside from that, I know the theme for today is quite exciting as well, because we all know that this is very timely and relevant, especially in our workplace. If you only know that UAE in our school also, we already done our e-learning for almost 5 months, and it's quite difficult to deal with that. Just like me, I'm only alone in my home, and you know that working the whole day without talking to anyone. Good thing Shahana is there with me to support me all day, and you know Shahana, she's a very nice leader. Actually, she's my line manager in my school, and she's actually very good in dealing, especially also in my own department. And without further ado, I will introduce to you our guest speaker as well, Miss Shahana. Miss Shahana is not only a teacher, not only a guidance counselor, but she is actually a very good mentor to everyone. And without further ado, over to you, Miss Shahana.
Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see so many beautiful faces all the way there. And like Ren said, thank you to the organization who has conducted and organized everything here. So I won't take a lot of time in introducing myself because Renz has done a remarkable job and he has already covered a lot of areas. So I will just start with our topic of the day. I have been associated in the field of counseling and education for the past 15, 16 years, and I'm still quite passionate about it. Renz, I just want to know if I can share the screen.
Miss G.
All right, while we are sorting it out. So the first slide we'll be working on is, it's going to be a very interesting journey for all of you. And I'm sure it will also help you reflect on a lot of practices. So I will be sharing a code with you, and it would require you to go to a specific site where you will be giving your feedback. So I'm just waiting for a heads up. Once I have it, all right. Thank you, Renz. I think it's working now. I can share the screen. All right. So on the slide, you can see. So it's a very exciting topic, full of lots of knowledge, lots of reflection. And I think deep down, it's something that we are all part of, and we all contribute on a regular basis, daily basis, with our colleagues, families, and our friends. If you are educators, then with your students as well. So on the screen, Renz, just let me know if you can see the Mentimeter code.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right, perfect. So if you're all able to go on this side, there are a few questions. It's just that I can get to know you a little bit more, and I can find out a little bit from your own feedback. Renz, would you be able to post this in the chat room as well, please?
Yes, yes, yes. Miss Shahana, can I just know the last digit for the code because I can't able to see it in my screen? 12, 62. The last number, please.
45.
45. All right.
126245.
Okay.
Menti.com. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone able to log in, and is everyone able to type their answers?
So may I request all our participants to please log into www.menti.com. You can get it in our group chat, the number, the Menti code, 126245. Thank you. You can proceed now, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your support. It's just a very few questions related to your work. And let me know if you are able to. Okay, I can still see that we have one participant who has logged in. Remember, these are some of the things that you can also use with your own colleagues, with your own friends, with your own students, and with people around you. It's a very easy tool, something that can help you get quick surveys instantly. And I have tried it many times, and on many occasions where we have worked with a large range of colleagues and students, and we wanted their quick response or survey. So I can see that there are many people now who are logging in. So it is going to ask you a question. The first question is, Renz, are you able to see my screen which says, how does your job make you feel?
Yes, Miss Shahana.
Okay, all right. So once you have given your responses, I would move the slide further. I will be soon sharing the responses as well with you, just to see how it is. And remember, it's anonymous, so we are not expecting you to give your correct name, or it's just to reflect and see uh, how does it actually make you feel on a daily basis. Like I said, mental health is all about your reflection. It's something that is part of our daily lives. All right, it's very exciting. Renz, I will also share a student-paced code. The reason is because we have limited time today and there's a lot of content. And I was telling Renz the other day, I wish I had lots of more time because this topic can go on and on. So I can see 13 people and logged in. Renz, is it all right if I can carry on?
Yes, carry on, Miss Shahana, and I think they will do that during the presentation.
Okay, so there are actually 3 questions. And the first question, I have seen 15 people have put in their responses. And then there's the second question. Can I rely on my line manager to help me out with a work problem?
Yeah.
Is that something you feel strongly about? Do you think your line manager is there to help you when you are facing any difficulties or when you are stuck in a situation where you need more support? So do you think that if you do a mistake, you can go to your line manager and openly tell your line manager, yes, I did a mistake. How do I fix it? Or is it difficult for you to communicate? Is it difficult for you to relate?
Miss Shahana, I think you unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right. Are you able to hear me again?
Yes, yes.
All right. So I can see 18 people are already in, a slightly better number from before. And then before I go on the next question is basically a little quiz, and it's a little fun quiz. Let's see how many of you are able to do it. So I'll just be quiet because it has some music in there for you.
Miss Shahana, you are in the first slide of your screen. Are you going to put it in the next slide, or are you in the next slide already?
I am on the next slide, Renz. Do you
All right.
want me to share again?
No, because I have just only see this first slide of your presentation, but it's fine if you're just going to stay there.
Because I'm moving the Mentimeter now. So
All right.
it would be fine if you carry on.
I'll carry on. Yeah. I know, Miss Shahana, you're enjoying reading this these answers right now.
Okay. All right. All right, coming back to it. I hope you had a little bit of fun. It's always nice to start the day with some excitement and a little bit of music. That's how I usually start my day. So you saw the survey results yourself, and you were able to see that most of you were able to identify. Renz, you would be able to tell me if there are any questions, all right?
All right,
So
yeah.
I will just keep on going. Just stop me if you're not able to hear me or if there are any things that they are not able to understand. So the Mentimeter showed me that some of you had answered some of the things and some of you have some questions. I am glad it is that way, because if you had answered everything correctly, then there's no point of me being here. So then I'm satisfied that my knowledge and my information for you is something that is going to help you. So before we start, I just want you to take a moment of silence, take some deep breaths, and calm your mind, because we are going to get a little bit serious. All right, so let's take a little deep breath. All right, so is the audience ready? I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I go further, some of the things I have just done with you right now is playing of the music, having some deep breaths, doing a survey. These are some of the basics whenever you are in a workplace or anywhere. Deep breathing is one of the few exercises which helps you get relaxed. It helps you get focused. And those are some of the things you're also doing as part of your PE curriculum or physical education curriculum. So mental health in the workplace. Now, there are some serious facts that I have tried to collect for you. Because we have come so close, and like Renz was saying, that it's not easy when you are on your own in a single room conducting lessons, or when you're away from your family, or even when you have limited social contact. Globalization does mean that the world has become a smaller place, but it does not help in a lot of elements of mental health, because we are now more slaves to the screen, in a good way as well as in a not very productive way. We are more reliant on technology on a day-to-day basis. Because of that, it has reduced the human contact. One out of every 5 person has a mental health condition. Sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's depression. So these are some of the very common things. And as the market and as the world is getting more and more competent, and people are trying to get the best and most of it in a very short span of time, you will see that these mental health issues are on the rise. One of the biggest concern is lack of awareness. When you've hurt your finger, or when you have a stomach ache or a heartache or a headache, you immediately go and consult a physician. But what about it when you have anxiety? Do you go to the doctor the same way? Do you consult a physician the same way? Or do you think, oh, it's going to get better? And that is the stigma, that is the challenge that we are facing for mental health. Most of the time, and that is a lot of research that has been put in it, people with mental illness or people who are facing anxiety, depression, stress, or psychological disorders do not share their mental health concerns, because they feel others might start pointing fingers at them, or their job will be in jeopardy, or their line managers or the bosses would start discriminating them and might not treat them the same way. And that will affect their job. And, and I know that all of you would agree with me that mental health does have a lot of physical implications. If you are an employer, and even if you are not an employer, you will notice that people who face mental challenges or who have difficulty in managing their emotions, their well-being, or who are stressed all the time or have a lot of workload, they are tend to get absent more. And even if they are present, they have reduced productivity. They are not able to focus on their work. It is difficult for them to manage their work. It's challenging for them to multitask. They usually have claims. So a lot of people who are facing mental issues or they have difficulty in managing their emotions, most of these people do go with legal implications. They try to sue the company, or they try to make the person look bad. They are more likely to switch jobs, so they will not be retaining in their company for a long time. They will always be looking for a better opportunity or switching the opportunity. They are tend to be more negative. They will complain more. They will have more problems with other. And in my dictionary, I call it the blame game. They are the people who blame others mostly. They are more likely to have injuries and illnesses. You will be surprised, but if I am stressed, I will feel my stomach ache more, and I will feel my head ache more. I will feel my neck ache more. So if I'm stressed, I am going to be more ill. I will feel all the pains that I have everywhere in the body more because I am in that state of mind. Uh, Depression is one of the leading causes, and that is where we have seen most of the people in our workplace. So I wish I had more time to talk about the stress and anxiety as well in workplace, but I just thought I'll talk about one of the most common ones, which is depression. It is the leading cause of less productivity, uh, premature contract cancellations. These are the people who leave in the middle of the contract or applying for sick leaves. And you would be surprised, but there are many people who are depressed, but that does not mean everyone who's applying for a sick leave is actually depressed. So moving further, there are more than 300 million people of all ages who suffer from depression. It is the leading cause worldwide. It is a burden. Depression can lead to suicides. And one of the researches I was doing was on how much time does it take for a person to make a decision that they are going to commit suicide. And it was heart wrenching when I saw that it only takes around 2 to 3 minutes to make that decision. That's it. In 2 to 3 minutes, a person makes up their mind whether they are going to commit suicide or not. And it's as fast as that. And within those 2 to 5 minutes, that person is able to commit and perform it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how much that person goes through? But the thing is that there are lots and lots and lots of treatments. There are lots of ways to help people. And we are going to guide you, and I will show you lots of different ways of identifying people. So in around you and even you, like one of the things that I always say is self-reflection. Reflect yourself, see where am I? So what does it feel like? And what does it look like? Because, whenever I say depression, many people come to me and say, I'm depressed. And when I ask them, even students, they come to me all the time and saying, I'm depressed, miss. I said, what do you mean you are depressed? It's not like if you're feeling low or sad, that's not depression. That's just you are feeling low. And depression is much more serious than that. But what does it look like? What if I ask for it on a tangible level? What does it look like? So a deep feeling of sadness is when you have withdrawal from the team or you try to isolate yourself. You try not to participate in team activities. You want to be alone most of the time. There are, and it's not one of the symptoms. So when you will start noticing, you will see a combination of symptoms. So I personally am the kind of person who likes to spend a lot of time with myself. But that does not mean I'm depressed. It just means that I am a person who is not into engaging with people all the time. I'm not very social all the time. I like to be on my own. But you will see a combination of these symptoms, and you will see a combination of all of these things that we are going to discuss with you now. So you will notice that these people will have a loss of interest in work, or and how you would see it, it would be this person will be indifferent. They're like, I don't care. Yeah, you carry on. I'm not interested today. Yes, I don't feel like it. I don't see what's the point of it. You know, when people start using those kind of statements, should start getting alarmed. You should start having those thoughts in your mind. Why is he being like this? This is not the kind of person this person is. They have difficulty in concentrating, missing deadlines. This is how it looks like. They don't meet deadlines. They have accidents, falling off the computer, the files are not in place, tipped over something, putting things off. Yes, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, don't worry, I'll finish it tomorrow. That's how it is. I'll finish it day after tomorrow. Oh, don't worry, it will be done. Oh, I forgot. How many times we hear somebody say, oh, I forgot. I was supposed to do it. Oh, was it today? Was the deadline today? Oh, I was all ready. I was so excited about it, but I forgot to do it. So those are some of the statements you would hear from these people. Forgetfulness or absent-mindedness in a staff meeting or in a meeting having conducted together, these people will be the people like, what did she say? What was the last thing that she was saying? Oh, okay, all right. And then afterwards, when everyone will be discussing, they would be the kind of people who would say, oh, I didn't remember that. When did she say that? Or when did he say that? They're not able to focus properly, and it's not their fault. It's just because their mind is too distracted with all of the other thoughts. They have difficulty in making decisions. They are indecisive. They have they procrastinate. They keep on putting things for the next day. Now, interestingly, this whatever information you are seeing here is something that is applicable to all ages, that is applicable to all categories, whether that category is a child, whether that category is an adult, whether that category is a teacher, a businessman, a student, or a prime minister or president of a state. It doesn't matter. Depression does not look at your profession, does not look at your age, it just comes. They have trouble sleeping or sleeping too much. Sometimes, and you will notice this in your students as well. So when I conduct safeguarding trainings or looking at student well-being, we also see that there are some staff members or some students who are always tired in the morning, always fatigued. And if they are colleagues, they will be late or not being able to come on time, always rushing. Sometimes their tie is not there, sometimes coffee mug in the hand, running faster than they can. And it's the same every day. It's not just 1 or 2 days. So if it happens once or twice or thrice, you know, oh, it's just because we are humans, we are not perfect people. But if it happens every single time or most of the time, yes, please pay attention. Feeling of worthlessness or inappropriate thoughts, because we are all adults, I can also openly say that these people also go in pornography and these kinds of elements, or even sometimes they commit frauds or crimes. So yes, mental illness can lead to a criminal background. Sometimes they will be very shy, not able to speak. All of the criminals that exist, all of them, they go one or other form of mental disorder. They get angry more, even on small things. They tend to raise their voice, shout at you, argue with you. They have difficulty in making friends and relationships. Not even with the colleagues, but also with their family members. They might keep on telling you stories how my wife is such a pain or how my mother is always bothering me. So now again, like I said before, it will be a combination of lots of these things. So don't put your finger on one thing and say, but I always complain about my mom. Yes, we all do, but we also respect them, and we don't go out talking openly all the time about our parents, that how they have made our life difficult. You might see changes in their appearance. Sometimes they might start eating more, or sometimes they start eating less. And you would see that some of them are quite shabby, disorganized, and some of them stop looking after themselves. So it will be a combination. And believe me, you will know this because you know this person before, and you will start noticing these changes. Now, there are a few questions I would be asking you, and I would like you to just type your answers in the chat. Renz will be helping me in telling me what the answers are. So, were the social distancing measures that have been put in place are working for you? So it's simply a yes or a no. Renz, you will just tell me what
Yes.
were the majority of the answers. I won't spend a lot of time because there is a lot of things that we have to cover. And I wish we had, this is the topic we can go on for days and days.
Yeah, so you can write your answers here in the meeting chat. You can just say yes or no. You don't need to explain your answer. Just want to see what your ideas or views about this one. Yeah.
Okay,
So I
Renz, when
have,
you have a majority of the answers, just let me know because there are
yeah,
quite a few questions and it would be nice.
yeah. So I
So,
can see 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, most of them, Mishana, are saying yes.
okay, that's very nice. All right, we can go on the next question. Have you conducted weekly surveys that makes you and your friends feel they are being listened to? All right, this is question number 2 now. So I would like you to now switch to the question number 2.
Yeah. So most are saying no, Mishana. The second question, most of them mentioned that it's a no. So we can
All
proceed to
right.
the next
Now,
one. Yeah.
thank you for being a very reactive and
Yeah.
proactive audience.
Yeah, I
Thank
am
you very
quite
much.
impressed with these participants. Look at them. Most of their
Yes,
answers are popping now in the meeting chat. Carry on, Mishana.
wonderful. Wonderful. All right,
Yeah.
next question. Do you and your staff have the technology needed to work from home?
Oh, this is the main problem, I think, in the Philippines right now. Mm, some are saying no, some are saying yes, some are saying it's not enough.
The mixed ones. All right.
Yeah,
Next one. Do you and your staff have access to training courses?
training courses. So, do you and your staff have the technology needed to work from home?
No, no, the fourth one. Renz, this is the
Yes.
fourth question now.
Do you have?
Like, do you get training for courses to upgrade yourself on a regular basis?
It's not your regular basis. Yeah, they are saying yes. Some of them are saying no. It's a mixed
Okay.
answer.
Again, a little mixed answers. All right, next question. The leadership and my colleagues offer a good level of support during the pandemic.
So, oh, some are saying no, some somewhat, a big yes, absolutely. Those are the answers that are popping out right now in the meeting chat. 100%, somewhat, somehow, not enough. Yeah, it's a mixed
Okay.
answer. Good job,
Again, a
everyone.
mixed a kind of answer.
Yeah.
All right. Has the well-being been impacted negatively due to the school closures?
Hmm. Some are saying, majority are saying yes now, Mishana.
Okay, all
Thank,
right.
yeah,
Thank you,
that's,
Renz. Thank
yeah.
you. Are the workload demands too challenging for you?
I know this. I know this. I will not get surprised with their answers now. They're all saying yes, totally. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the questions that I could apply to myself, and I thought if it applies to me, it will apply to everyone. Do you have a well-being committee and policy? Now, Renz, for this, I
Yeah.
know the answer.
Yeah. So let's, yeah, I know Mishahana, because as I have mentioned to you before, that the well-being program is not yet introduced to the Philippines. So as you can see, most of their answers are none. And sometimes one of these answers is like it's already assigned to the guidance counselor. So there's only one sector in their department that handling this well-being platform.
Okay, all right. Um, do you have a staff bereavement policy and protocol? By bereavement, we mean that someone who has passed away. So if, God forbid, there's someone in the staff who passes away, do you know what to say? And do you know that there's a policy that your organization has created?
Oh, they say
E-
yes.
Everyone?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a very good thing, because sometimes how you say and what you say means a lot to the person. All right. Now, these are some questions for the employers and leaders. And even if you're not an employer or leader and you feel something, please give your opinion. How many staff are completing the survey? So one of the questions I asked, are you doing surveys? And many of you said no. But then I would also question the employers and the leaders. Um, if you are conducting survey, if your answer was yes, then what is the majority or what is the number of staff which are actually completing these surveys, or are you just doing it as a tick box exercise? Renz?
Yeah, I can see any answer from now, Michelle. Hold on. Maybe 80%, 90%. So these are the answers. 80%, 75%, 80%,
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
50%, 80%,
Okay,
85%,
good,
yeah.
good. All right, 80%. All right. Is the staff generally satisfied at your school or workplace? It's a tricky one again. I hope none of their bosses are there watching. Oh, you wrote this for me today. Tomorrow I'll
I
steal
tell you,
this.
Michelle, I've been working in the Philippines for almost 7 years, and I know this environment. So partly yes, some are saying no, some are saying not really. Some are
Yes.
saying
No, I'm just like, my boss is watching me. I better should say yes today. Oh, it's the end of my job resignation. Here you go.
I
Uh,
know.
all right. But thank you very much, everyone, for giving very honest opinion. And remember, these questions are something you go back and ask your colleagues and ask your school as well. And let them know how you feel. Uh, I am, again, as I said in the beginning, I can see that it's not still very effective. Because if you are even saying 70%, 80%, I would go back and question you. Because if I am an inspector, if I am a well-being in charge, I would go back and question and follow up on the staff who haven't. Because believe it or not, those who have not completed the survey are going to be the ones who will need the most help. So if you are doing surveys, or if you are doing courses, or if you have staff, because I know many of you are leaders as well and employers as well. So you saw from the result, and these are some of the general questions. I didn't even go in the depth of those questions. These are some very general questions that should have got a lot of yeses, but sadly, it's not that case. And it's not only in Philippines, it's across the world. We pay so much attention on academics, distance learning curriculum, how to embed the curriculum, how to engage the children. But we forget that at the base of everything, it is the well-being of the staff, the well-being of the children. Um, now, I have lots of ideas for you. So if you are one of those who haven't said yes to everything, then I have lots of ideas for you that you can work on. Um, if you have a healthy, rewarding environment, you will have a positive mental health, and vice versa. You have to value diversity. I'm not sure how many nationalities you have, but in our school, we have around 60, 40 to 60 different kinds of nationalities. Um, and when I say diversity, everyone will have a different culture. Some of the teachers are coming from a IB curriculum, some of them are coming from American curriculum, some are coming from Philippine curriculum. But that's diversity. We have to take that diversity on board. Some of them are more the party goers. They enjoy doing parties. I always keep telling friends that I love your group because they enjoy spending that quality time and partying around together, or going to the church together. But it's not the same in the Arab culture. In the Arab culture, they like staying at home, not going out, eating food and cooking food at home only, or they only move in their families. And it's different from the British culture. They always want to be in a bar, and they like spending lots of money. And these are just some of the scenarios. but there is diversity in each one of them. Either I keep on commenting, oh, but in their culture, they always drink. Because I'm a Muslim, I do not like that. Or I keep on saying, oh, but they always go to the church. This is how they are. Instead of commenting on their cultures or their diversity or how they talk or how their accent is or how they look, we should value it because it brings so much richness to the environment. And acknowledging and appreciating and telling them, I love the way you all have that kind of energy when you like partying together. I think it's the best thing that your country brings to our school. So appreciating that. Include healthcare that incorporates mental health. Now, this is a very technical thing, and I would let your organizers or your employers decide that. If you are getting health insurance, I don't know whether that's part of Philippines or not. If you have a contract, but if you have health insurance, it would be a good idea to include mental health also as part of medical or health insurance, because in majority of the cases, that's not the case. Has programs and practices that promote and support health and wellness. So there could be lots of events you can schedule. There could be lots of programs you can put in place. Practices, just simply smiling. That's a very nice practice. I always say a simple smile can go a long way, and it makes a lot of curves go. It can just turn the curves upside down. So just smiling, greeting people in the morning, saying, hi, how are you? How was your day? Good to see you. You look beautiful. I liked your shirt. You know, those small compliments, smiling every day in the morning, that goes a long way. And don't feel that that person might respond or not. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. It's just that you communicated. That will make you feel good about yourself. Are you giving a training to your supervisors? So remember, if you are a leader or if you are a line manager or if you are a head of a department, you have a staff to look after, and not only their professional development in the form of how their observations are or what is their rating, are they good teachers, very good teachers, but are you also looking out after your team's mental well-being? So the supervisors, it's very important that we train them, we guide them. Do they have counseling in the workplace? Do you have, like somebody said, they have a social worker? So do the staff have access to these kind of people? Do the staff have these kinds of pockets where they can go and speak or they can talk about? Do you have safeguarding leads? Do you have people in place who look after the well-being of staff? Do you have people who keep on checking? Because remember, if I am depressed or if I am facing anxiety, I will never go up and sit and talk to my line manager, I am anxious or I am facing depression. Never. My line manager is the person who needs to know me, and he needs to keep on checking upon on me. Is the health information collected from the staff at the time of recruitment? When you are applying for a job, is your HR asking you that I need your health information? Please give me a health form. If they are not, they should be. Do you have confidentiality in place for your employees? So if I go up to someone and I share something confidential about my family or about my life, are the people trusting others and each other for being able to do it? Because one of the things in CBT, the cognitive behavior therapy, is communication, talking it out. And this is the most effective practice that I have found across the years, that talking out with someone who you can trust is much more therapeutic than going to a psychologist and paying lots of money and speaking your heart out. Do you have employee support plan in place where whoever require hospitalization or have treatment? Do you have a social development program? This is something you can also search up on Google, because if I start explaining what a social development plan is, it will take a long time. But this is something very necessary. Not only your school development program, but there should be a social development program. Do you have a staff well-being events and calendars? So back in our school, we have employee of the month, we have monetary awards and rewards. We have done raffle coupons in our celebration, and we have lots of incentives that we give our staff in order to promote their good practices, and that in turn makes them stay with us. We have a very good turnover, and the staff which are leaving us this year are because of their personal reasons. None of them are leaving because they don't like the school or they had difficulty settling in. So our staff are very well looked after. So I have put a link here, and I will share some links with you as well, because I believe in sharing is caring. So some wonderful resource packs on Twinkle as well, which you can literally just copy paste and use it for your own. I'll put down the links at the end of the presentation, and you will be able to take it from there. Now, what can employers do? So employers, you need to give a voice to each and every member of staff. And I repeat again, each and every member. Do not just think, I know we are very busy, we have hundreds of things to manage, but please, if that one person has not reached to you or not approached you, do not feel that person is just trying to have an attitude. No, that person might really need the support. That person might be the person who really needs the support the most. And you can see I've highlighted some words. Understand what is the focus. Look at the scores across each category of your surveys, and then based on those areas, make your action plan. So this is the basics of making a social development plan. You conduct a survey. Once you have finished the survey, you then look at the areas of concern, and then you use those areas and design your action plan. This is how it works. Look at the concerns. You can have staff comment boxes. You can have give the opportunity of staff to put down their thoughts. Even if you hear something from somewhere, don't just put it away. Look into it seriously. Even if they were complaining about someone was being mean to me, or I don't like the way how he talks to me every day, please don't just ignore it and say, oh, that person is always complaining. No, please go and address it. Specific comments on the survey can also be used in making your action plan. Don't be afraid if somebody says, but you're not doing this well. I feel this is how you should do it. Don't take that negatively, just take that positively, because in every criticism, there lies in a growth opportunity. There lies a huge underlying opportunity. And every time you get feedback, please take that on board. Do you have a list of vulnerable staff? Do you know which staff are the most needy? Which staff are the people who need your most support? You have a list of those staff. Have you gone into that effort of finding those people? Segment your staff into teams. So you should have line managers for small groups of people across the whole school or across the whole organization, who are there to support in those small groups. Because remember, if I'm giving in charge of 5 people that I have to communicate on a daily basis, I will be much happier rather than tell me, look after the entire of primary, or look after the entire of secondary, or look after the entire of the administration department. That's too much for me to handle as well. So as an employer, you should have that kind of insight. And you should have a health and safety plan, and I'm sure everyone does have it. And in the health and safety plan, do include your mental health issues as well. What would you do if somebody has a panic attack? What would you do if somebody has is having a very difficult time or faints or has a fit? What would you do? Modify workplace risk factors. Look at your scores, look at your surveys, and then compare it to the national levels. Compare it to the international levels. So for example, if my scores or my survey report says that 50% of my staff are unhappy, then I take that 50% on board, and then I compare it to the rest of the world, to the rest of the Philippines, to the rest of the area. And then I see, am I better or am I worse? And that will give me an insight whether I'm good enough or whether I need to be better, or whether we are already getting better and we need to just keep on doing the good things we are doing. And then, like I said, the social development plan, it promotes well-being and creativity. You can come up with lots of fun ideas, doing Zumba together, doing dance together, doing exercises together, having fun food fair. On one of our parties, we even had popcorns on candy floss, and we gave that to staff, and staff enjoyed it. I think last year when trips were allowed, I decided that we should go on a desert safari. So all of our staff, instead of having that regular end of year party, we all went on a desert safari. And for the food, we had got the cotton candy, and we had the popcorns, and we had the chocolate fountain where people were using marshmallows. Sometimes you need to take that inner kid out and have that kind of fun. Facilitate healthcare access to your employees, and combat the stigma of encourage open discussions. Have those kinds of. Now, what can employers do? So again, a few questions, very quick ones. What can you do as employees? Now, I told you so many things. What can employers do? Now, I know not all of you are employers, but what can you do as employees? How do you think you can improve? So again, I would rely on our lovely Rens to give me some feedback.
Yeah, this actually we're asking for your suggestion. For example, if you'll be like an employee, so what can you suggest to improve? Yeah, you can write your answers. Quite interesting, Miss Hannah.
All right.
So I can see any answer from now. So come on, guys, we need your answers.
Maybe they're all thinking, what should we do?
Yeah.
But it's good, Rens. If people are thinking and taking that time and effort, it's always a good sign, because it means that they are actually reflecting.
Yeah, so I got one answer here. They should be like, have a grievance committee.
Very nice. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you, Nina. So it comes from Nina Serafico.
Any other answers?
By asking questions and find solutions. I think
Good.
this will fall under the survey form.
Okay.
Yeah, well done, Sheila. Sheila or Shyla? Just correct me if I'm wrong.
All right, now it's the next question. I will give you lots of ideas, but I do like to see and hear from you as well, because it also makes me reflect on how good is the information I am throwing you. So what should we do less? What are the things that you think you're already doing more, but you should do less? So for me, it's always being available. I think one of my biggest thing I should do less is whenever anyone tries to approach me, are you there? Yes, I'm there. Do you need help? Yes, I'm there to help. And sometimes it just gets too much. But I think I should make a schedule for when I should be helping. But it is just fun. But I do love and enjoy helping everyone.
Michelle, I got one very good answer from the question number 1. It says that create plans and program for mental health, for fitness and wellness, and other program that will help. That will benefit, I think, the health of the staff.
Very nice. And what should we do less? Have we got any answers for that?
None yet. Negative thoughts, less complaints.
Well done, whoever gave that answer. Absolutely. And I will show you some. I wish I had more time. Oh my God. All right. I need to speed up my pace. Yeah. All right. Okay. Next question is, what should we do more?
Be grateful. Don't mind everything that we can change.
I love that answer. Who wrote be grateful?
Banji.
Oh, wonderful. All right. I'm just going to skip through it. The reason is that we have a little bit left to cover. So being mindful, one of the things that I enjoyed over the years is living in that moment. When you are talking to someone, and I will show you what active listening is as well, stop thinking about everything else and just focus on that one moment you are in, and focus on that one person you are speaking with. Practice resilience and self-care. Maintain and enhance your social networks. Exercise and have regular leisure activities. Celebrate and reward yourself, and say well done to yourself. Talk to your employees about your mental health and know your rights. It is a compulsory and mandatory clause in all of your contracts. And I'm sure it's because it's a World Health right that you have a right to not be bullied, to not undergo any sort of emotional and physical abuse. So please do look at your contracts carefully. They are your rights. I will just briefly touch upon gratitude as well. One of the person already said, gratitude not only have a mental impact, it also has a lot of physical impact. It develops your immune system. It lowers your body aches. It lowers your blood pressure. It makes you much happier. It helps you sleep better. You are always energetic and happy. You are more alert and alive. You are more optimistic. So that person who was saying less negative thoughts, there you go. You should have. You will be able to be more forgiving. You will be more outgoing, and you will feel less lonely. So even when you're all by yourself, you won't feel lonely. Being by yourself does not mean you have to be lonely. And what are the benefits? So gratitude has lots of benefits, and how does it benefit? Is it just blocks the negative emotions. It does not allow those hormones to reach your heart and your brain, so it just blocks it. It increases your self-worth. You start valuing yourself. You don't rely on other people to compliment you and acknowledge you, because that is what social media has done for you. You start relying on other people to compliment you to feel good about yourself. It does not do that. Gratitude makes you feel good about yourself, no matter what others are saying. There are some challenges to gratitude. One of them is self-serving bias. This is something I've heard from my grandmother, from lots of people from my family as well. If good things happen to me, it's because I have done it. And when bad things happen to me, it's because of others. And that's something that is a challenge. So you have to just step out of that concept. And then just world hypothesis. Again, this is something I've been hearing from a lot of ancestors. Good things come to good people and bad things come to bad people. Well, if that is the case, then it's a blessing that I don't always get what I deserve, because sometimes I'm quite naughty. And because I feel I did get more than I deserve. When you start saying those things in this way, you start appreciating more, because you look down at the people who are not getting those. And you are not always looking up at the people who are getting much more than you. So just world, use that sentence. It's a blessing. Don't always get what I deserve, because I get far more than I deserve. And again, gratitude is something you have to cultivate. You have to grow, just like a plant. It has to be practice, practice, practice. Every day you have to practice gratitude. You have to say, I'm grateful. And that is why in most of the religions, we have saying thank you, thanksgiving, and we pray before sleeping in the night. And no religion says that don't be grateful. Every single religion around the world says be grateful, be hopeful. What can colleagues do? So now people, you are all colleagues, one place or the other. And just to say that, make it clear that you want to help, listen without judgment. Even when somebody just wants to come to you and cry, let them. Sometimes we just don't need to ask questions. Get a list of people who are willing to help, because not everyone will be in a position to help. So get a list of people who are volunteering for this. Have a list of external and internal agencies where you can refer people. Have a helpline, have a number, have a name, have a person who is willing to listen every time. Have a support plan for the people who are struggling. Have workshops and have social media groups where you can interact with each other. Have events. This is a very quick exercise that I would like you all to do. I want you all to very quickly think of the most recent negative thoughts that you have, something really, really negative that you have had, or even not very negative, little negative. I don't want like, I wish like I could murder this. No, not that much. Just any non-negative thoughts. Like sometimes we feel jealous of someone, or we always want to be this or that. All right. So if you have thought, now some of the examples I've put on the board for you. So now I want you to look at 5 things that you can see in the room. Literally, it would take you hardly few seconds. 5 things you can see in the room. 4 things that you can feel or touch right now.
Look at the answers here, Miss Johanna.
You don't
One
need to write the answers, please. I don't know what you can touch and feel. Oh God, please don't write down the answers right now. It's just
They are very vocal. I love this. Some are saying unemployment. Some are saying actually I feel overweight, afraid of the COVID-19. No? This quite impressive because now you can recognize what are the things that makes you feel stressed. So, but don't worry about that. This is manageable.
okay. All right, then if 3 things that you can hear. So the whole idea is you are using your 5 senses, and we call this grounding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, 2 things you can smell now, and then 1 thing you can taste. All right, now, do you still remember what was the negative thought, or it has left your system? The reason I did this exercise with you, and you can write down now how you feel, is whenever you have a negative thought, the best thing you can do is distract yourself. And if you keep on following the grounding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you are basically telling your negative thought, stop, just stop. And you distract yourself. And that's where you practice your well-being. That's the first stage of practicing well-being. So your negative direction will turn into a positive direction because it distracts you. Now, I did this very quickly, but if you actually do it mindfully and practice this on a regular basis, this will have a huge impact on your well-being because you're not allowing those negative thoughts to impact you at any point. Friends, do we have something on how do you feel?
Actually, yeah, those are the first answers that I got already, and some of them are saying like, sometimes I am disappointed because even if I work longer in school, there are priority in the promotion, in the less in the service.
All right, thank you very much. So this exercise, which is grounding, it utilizes your 5 senses. It does look after your mental techniques that distracts you and redirect your thoughts. It does soothes and comforts you. So please use this exercise with yourself, with your family, with your students. It's a very effective exercise, and it has been researched to be much quicker. So in the next coming slides, I'm just going to give you lots and lots and lots of ideas. So this is something you can try with your friends. Positive self-talk, even with yourself. Then write the thoughts using positive. And again, this will be shared with you so you can actually print it, copy it, and use it. Use prompts. Empathy does not only mean that you are doing it positively, but so how do you show empathy? This is hard. You have done hard things before, and I believe in you. Or you can say, get over it. So how you approach the person has a deep meaning of how you're empathizing with that person. So some of the examples I have put for you here, and how can you recognize this at work as well? Show interest in people's hopes and needs and dreams. Don't take people for granted in the staff room. So you can see on this, there's a picture. This is a staff room wall where you can have a lot of fun challenges posted, rewards, or even something sticky notes or something that you can ask them to give feedback. You can have an emotion vocabulary chart in your staff room or in your own workplace, or you can write down the emotions, and you can even draw emoticons. Active listening is very important. It is used in counseling, but it is also something you can apply as well. it does, there are lots of ideas on how you can do it. Whenever I do active listening, I try to do it. The first time I tried it with one of my friends, and this is the exercise I did with them. I told them, tell me your entire story, and then I'm going to repeat back to you, and you tell me whether I did it properly or not. So that's some of the exercises you can try. Whenever I'm speaking to students, I always tell them, you should be facing me, your body should be looking at me, your eyes should be looking at me, and your whole body I should know, not that I'm checking my SMS or my WhatsApp while I'm talking to someone. That's not active listening. Mutual respect. How do colleagues show respect in your school? Some of the things you can also do in your professional development or in your training courses as well. What makes you feel respected or disrespected? And these could be anonymous votes as well. Then these are some of the things. Now there's a strength survey. I've also posted the link in the, you will receive that shortly. I've shared all of that with Renz as well. What are my strengths? Why is it important? Some of the exercises you can do with your staff at school as well, or in your workplace. Do you think exercise is good for the body, the mind, or both? Again, exercises, prompts. These are very simple prompts that you can try. You are all PE teachers, and you know how important exercise is, but it's always nice to keep on getting reminded what an amazing benefit PE has on your mental health or physical education or physical exercise. And these are some of the resources, and I'm mindful of the time. So when I is replaced by we, even illness becomes wellness. It's a very short phrase, but it has a very deep meaning to it. So you will notice that there are lots of resources I've put together for you. You are more than welcome to click on it and use them for your own schools. And then at the end, just a simple thank you. And remember, everyone, it's all right to feel unstable. It's all right to hide away from the world. And it's all right to need help. It's okay to not be okay. Your mental illness or your mental challenges is never a personal failure. Start by doing things that is needed to be done. And then what is possible to do. And then you will start noticing you are reaching towards doing the impossible. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening to me and spending this time with me and making my morning very colorful and bright on a Saturday. I'm happy to listen to your questions or anything you wish to ask. I would leave that to Renz, how he would like to do it. But thank you very much, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, Ms. Riahana. That was a very interesting and very fruitful discussion for this morning. I know it's not easy to wake up early in the morning now. It's all actually 7 a.m. here, I think. Yeah, 7:11 a.m. But thank you so much. Now, I just want to comment about that. Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Shana, because some of you just simply say that I am depressed. I have my anxiety right now, but please do remember to categorize your feelings, because some of you would easily say that you are depressed when in fact you're not. And remember, you are still in the long way. Actually, we experienced this here for 5 months actually, and we are not also ready for this pandemic, and we are all stuck at home while teaching. And good thing our school has this very good platform to connect with our students. And I know I have heard also the last time that they are trying to remove physical education in the Philippine curriculum, but I know they are trying to implement it now, and you are already doing your modules in physical education. But you always try to remember the safeguarding of the students, all right? Because how will you going to implement that? How will you going to teach this curriculum to your students? Are the materials, equipments in physical educations are available at home? Are these physical activities are very risky? And who will support these students? Who will support them step by step? And just try to imagine that I know that Philippines already in a critical situation, that what if this distance learning will staggered until the end of the school year. So it will be like quite challenging for everyone. And I know that you are all thinking of that, and I know you are thinking of what kind of methods that you're going to apply in your teaching. And I wish you all luck. And if you need some help, just for your information, I'm also a physical education teacher, and Shana is there because she's also our line manager in our area. So if you need some help regarding with the physical education, we are here to support you. And just take note, everyone, that well-being is very important, very, very important. This is one of the factors that they are looking here. So I wish that Philippines also will consider well-being. When you say well-being, it's not only physically active, it's actually mentally active as well. And you have to think of those things that you can share to your students, to your colleagues, the whole member of the school, on how you're going to make them feel that they are like not alone, how they make feel like how they will going to survive in this pandemic. All right. If you have some questions, thank you so much, Ms. Shahana. If you have some questions, please you can unmute your microphone or chat it in the put it in the meeting chat. It's needed, a very good topic to start with a new day. Thank you, NCP family, Ms. Shahana and Sir Renz. Thank you so much. I love you, the way you give your thoughts. I love the way you share your quotes as well. I love the topic. Ms. Shahana explained it very well. Ms. Shahana, look at that. All right. If you have some questions, yes, Ms. Anna.
Yes, sir, Ms. Shahana, I think there's some questions here sent to us by personal message. So for Ms. Shahana, what are the different interventions or best practices in order to maintain sound and pleasant workplace?
Sorry, please repeat the question. I didn't hear the last part.
What are the different interventions or best practices in order to maintain sound and pleasant workplace?
Sound and lesson?
Pleasant.
You mean working in a lesson or?
Pleasant.
I don't know why I can't hear the last part.
Pleasant is for a good environment or workplace.
Okay, so you want to know what are the best interventions for students?
Yes, in the workplace particularly. For example, most of us are teachers, so I think they are referring to schools.
All right, so what you mean, I'll just repeat the question to just make sure that I understand the question properly.
Okay.
It might be just my speaker as well. So is it that you are asking what interventions can we put in place for staff who are...
The different interventions or best practices to maintain a sound or pleasant workplace?
Yes. Okay. So for that, I think one of the first things you have to do is, I have also mentioned in my presentation, is have a well-being committee. There should be members of staff who can volunteer and they can work together. Now, and this well-being committee will put together a program, and that would be a daily program. So for example, every day in the morning, they will be greeting, checking upon people. You can also have peer support groups. So select staff members who are keen to initiate this in your school. Search up some ideas. You can have hundreds and hundreds of ideas. Use the resources I've shared with you as well. And then these people put together a plan, like an action plan in place, which will help develop things progressively. Because if this does not exist so far, you need to make sure that you start from the very first step. Find the people who are willing to initiate this, and then put them together as a well-being committee, and then they have to work together on an action plan, then put that action plan in practice, and religiously or diligently follow it on a regular basis, on a daily basis. That will make the workplace a very blessed and very proactive place for mental well-being. And it's not a one-day process. It will take you around weeks and maybe months to get it correct. But I think it's never too late to just start at any point in time. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think that's you answered the questions correctly, ma'am. So another question is there any kind of depression self-assessment questionnaire?
There are hundreds and hundreds of them actually that you can find online. But I would rather recommend that instead of doing it yourself, go and speak to someone who's a professional, because it is always the right one that they would recommend for you. Because there are many programs you will find online, and there are lots of surveys that you'll find online. But I always recommend that whenever, because it's the same as a physical ailment or a physical illness. Mental illness is equally important. So please do consult someone and ask them for the right resources. If you have a counselor at your school, please go and consult them, speak to them or your line manager. Other than that, we use the Vanderbilt. That's a very professional site, that resource that we use. And some of them are also psychometric testing, which we use for personality test as well to find out your strengths. Please do conduct the strength survey that I have put in the resource, because more than depression diagnosis, I think it's important that we think of your strengths diagnosis and find out what is the strongest area in your personality.
Okay, thank you very much. Very well said, ma'am. Another question from Sir Benjamin. Wait, no, I lost it.
Yeah, while you are reading it, yeah, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just please do not forget to fill in the survey form. I've actually put it in the meeting chat. So if you have some time before leaving the meeting and after the question and answer, you can actually please try to fill in the survey form. All right. Thank you so much. Go on, Miss Anna.
Okay. As question from Sir Benji Sapanta. So during this time of pandemic, where is it? During this time of pandemic, where is it now? With the use of online distance learning, how can we follow up students with depression or mental health problems?
Very nice question, Miss Hannah.
Oh, I love that question. All right. This is one of the things that even we asked ourselves when I was in this area. One of the things is regular connection of the class teacher. So the class teacher who's conducting the attendance daily, one of the things they can do is they have to have that very strong bond with all of their students. And every day in the morning, they can have circle time. I'm sure you must have heard of circle time, where everyone shares one thing that went well today, or one thing that can go even better. And you know, as a teacher, you will know instantly if something is wrong with your student. One of the many factors are students start getting absent, not attends lesson on time. And like I said, it's the same thing as you apply to adults. So some things that you can start even now is start with circle time in the morning, where students all sit together and share one thought, each one of them. The second thing you can do is monitor their attendance. Make sure they are saying good morning to you every day, and you look at them throughout the lesson and look at their attendance. The third thing that you can do is monitor any communication that they're doing with you. In your communication, if you see words like, I think this is too much, or I don't like it, or I don't know why they're doing this, keep a lookout for words which are negative, or words which can lead to negative thoughts, or comments which are against someone. If you start noticing those things, this is a red signal for you. Or consult with the parents. Again, like I said, you can also have a survey, a very quick, like I did with you, a Mentimeter survey. So in the morning, how are you feeling today? Just a simple click, your children show happy, sad, unhappy. You can do as part of your daily morning activity, just so that, just so that your children are engaged. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Another question from Ma'am Lab Manaay. Can we apply grounding 54321 in anxiety attacks?
It depends on the severity of your anxiety. If you have a panic attack and it's a clinical, if it has reached a clinical level, then I would recommend that it might not work. But if this is just the beginning of negative thoughts, and then yes, it would work. But if it's a clinical thing, then you need something a little bit more. You need medical attention, and you also need some support. So in case of student, I would recommend that student is always buddied up with someone, because sometimes when you have panic attacks, you are in a state when you cannot be touched or you cannot be moved. So just make sure that they are buddied up. Even in your case, if you have that kind of severe clinical level and severity, please make sure that you are also buddied up with someone, and some members of staff are aware. And that's where I say, at the time of recruitment, make sure that you put that information down in the health form.
Thank you very much, Mom. And I think that's it. That's all the questions. And
Yeah.
even in the YouTube and our YouTube channel, we just telling you they are very grateful for having you here in our lecture and our session right today, and they're extending their gratitude to you for sharing your expertise and knowledge in terms of mental health and well-being in the workplace. Thank you very much, Mom, and of course, thank you very much, Sir Renz Aliado, the founding president of us of the International E-Learning. Thank you very much, Ma'am. But before we end, I just want to remind everyone to please don't forget to answer the survey form posted by Sir Renz in our Zoom group chat, and also the attendance form or the attendance link posted by Mom G. So don't forget to take selfie and or photos, and you have to post it in our FB page and FB group. But before we end again,
Anna, before you forget,
Mhm.
we will give them certificate.
Yes, of course. And so please share the screen now for our digital certificate. So we will have a short or brief ceremony of handing your certificate for both of you, ma'am and sir. Eh, Okay, let's wait for the screen sharing of Ma'am G about your certificate.
I should smile all day because Mr. Robert is taking a selfie a while ago.
So let me read. Okay, allow me to read the certificates of for our resource speakers. So the National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines, or NCPEP Incorporated, in cooperation with Rotary Club Jose Abad Santos Manila, award the certificate of recognition. First is to Mr. Renz Aliado for imparting his valuable insight and expertise to physical educators during the NCPEP Fun International Webinar Series entitled Mental Health and Well-Being in the Workplace, held on July 4, 2020, signed Dr. Geraldine Cachola Miñas, President of NCPEP and Rotary Club Jose Abad Santos, Manila. Also, the same certificate will be given to Miss Shahana. Thank you very much, ma'am and sir. I hope this will not be the last time, first and last, that you're going to share your expertise and knowledge in different fields of not only in physical education and mental health with the other lectures. We are looking forward and be partner with you of the international e-learning and together with our NCPEP group. Thank you very much, sir and ma'am. Maraming salamat. Let's give a round of applause or virtual clap to our resource speakers. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, do not forget to fill out the forms of mental health and well-being in the workplace attendance, and also the survey given to us by Sir Renz Aliado.
Yeah, Miss Anna, just to say, Miss Anna, and Miss G, I
Yes.
will send to you the PDF form of the presentation so that you can see the lectures in there, and even the sources that Miss Hannah put in the presentation. All right. Yeah, we have to make sure that
Okay.
these things will be delivered to all the members.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And also, they can use that as a survey, as a data also for starting their their researches about mental health and well-being, on also an action research. Because right now, most of us teachers are asking by our divisions or our regional offices to conduct our own action research. This one is one of the tools that you can use, or the topics that you can discuss, or that you might be interested in to start your own research or for your thesis writing also. Thank you very much, ma'am. Another is, can we have also a presentation? Someone asking in our group chat, presentation of Miss Shahana. Is it okay,
Yes,
ma'am?
yes.
Okay, so we will send it to our all members here in our group chat. The presentation. So we will just give you a copy or in a PDF form.
Anna,
Thank you.
kindly read the citation for Miss Shahana.
The same certificate given to the Ms. Shahana Salman, National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines Incorporated, in cooperation with Rotary Club Jose Abad Santos, award the certificate of recognition to Ms. Shahana Salman for imparting her valuable insight and expertise to physical educators during the NCPEP FitFun International Webinar Series entitled Mental Health and Wellness in the Workplace, held on July 4, 2020, given this 4th day of July 2020, signed Dr. Geraldine Cachola Minas, NCPEP President, and Jose Abad Santos, Rotary Jose Abad Santos, Manila. Thank you very much once again, ma'am and sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I wish we had organization like yours when we started our journey as educators. And I think I wish we had people like Renz who were taking those initiatives. It would have made such a difference many years back. But I think you are doing a great job bringing these kinds of platforms and giving access to everyone across the face. And what we are doing now is after lots of research. And I think if anyone can take that knowledge and impart that back to the community and give it back to the community, they will do a favor to themselves, because it does come back to us whenever we try to spread that kindness around. But thank you very much for inviting us and giving us that time and giving us that opportunity. And I really enjoyed it. Your audience is very interactive. They are full of good answers, and I love their questions. I wish we had more time to spend with them, but thank you so much for everything. And thank you to Renz, who has been working day and night for organizing and communicating with you. And I know he has been meeting with you as well. Thank you very much.
To give you a background of our participants in our members, most of us are teachers, physical education teachers, are coming from the higher education and basic ed. So, and these topics that you discussed to us will really help us to prepare also this coming school year and to prepare ourselves to be mentally fit or well. Right now, we're experiencing a lot of workloads given to us or challenges us to deliver our lessons effectively to our students, especially that we are using the platform, particularly the online modalities that we are going to use this coming school year. Thank you very much, ma'am. This is a big help for all of us.
Most welcome.
Thank you. I think we can have a photo op before we end our session.
Wow.
Yes, last time I
Sure.
forgot. So I request everyone to please turn on your camera, and also you can turn on your microphone to give thanks to our resource speakers. You can say hi
Thank you
to
so
them.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Hello,
much, Mom
Miss
and Sir.
Shanna.
You.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much
Thank you,
for
Sir
a great
Renz.
discussion. I love
job.
it
Thank
very much.
you so much for the shared knowledge.
Oh, look at that.
Wow,
Journalist in the
thank you
car,
very
Miss Shahana.
much.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah, for that very informative webinar that you have given us for today.
Most welcome, Melanie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because most of the time, it's more on content based, but this one is a very important. We didn't take advantage of it. That this mental health is very important also, especially this time of pandemic. We're experiencing a lot of depression and other anxiety attacks because of this VUCA world. Yung anxiety, uncertainty that we are feeling right now is very evident to all of us. Okay, so let's take a picture. Ma'am G, are you ready?
Okay. So
Okay,
first
first
slide.
Ayan.
Okay,
Picture.
ready. 1, 2, 3. Smile. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, second.
Okay, next.
We don't know who is in the second in the second grid or the first grid.
Second grade is Andrew, Hershey, Love, Edison, Ma'am Teresa, Ma'am Adele.
So just smile.
Just
Sir
smile.
Wilson.
We
Okay,
have
ready.
different grids.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Thank
One
you.
more.
Sir, nabasa
1,
kayo.
2, 3.
Hindi ko alam kung seryoso siya dun.
Okay. We're done.
Thank you once again. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Miss Shala.
Thank you, Miss Hannah and Sir
Thank you,
Renz.
Sir Renz.
Maraming salamat
Thank you
po.
for
I wish I can go
sharing.
back to Philippines. Bakasyon
So
ko ngayon.
much
Sana
for the
nandun ako
great
sa Pilipinas. Kaya lang,
experience.
hindi ako
Sayang.
Thank you very
makakauwi.
much.
Sir, masyadong
Thank you,
radical
Sir
yung pag
Re-
nagsasalita eh.
Thank you, Sir Renz and Ma'am Shahana.
Thank
Very
you.
great discussion. Love it.
Sabi,
you.
wala pa naman siyang parang nag-post nga siya na nasusunog yung community nila.
Okay. Alang. Sige pa.
Maraming
Bye
salamat
po.
po.
See you
Salamat
tomorrow.
po. Salamat,
See you
Sir Renz.
tomorrow. Don't
Hindi na.
forget.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Sound with Dr.
Bye,
Love.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
po.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, boys.
Bye,
See you
G.
tomorrow. Hi, Nina!
Bye, Anna.
Softball tayo ulit.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
3, 2,
Bye.
1.
Miss you, Nina. DJ.
Miss you